Welcome to Town Talk, the official podcast of the town of Stephenville, where community conversations happen. I'm Marilee Joy Castillo, Communications Manager for the town. This podcast takes place in the chamber of Town Hall, where we share updates, ideas, and information about what's happening in our community. Joining me here today is Chauna Hickey, and Chauna is a candidate running for the position of council in the upcoming municipal election. So welcome, Chauna.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So first of all, Chauna, before we get into our questions, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Absolutely. I'm Chauna Hickey. I'm 24 years old. I was born and raised here in Stephenville. After high school, I moved to St. John's, and I went to school there for a couple of years. Until about a year ago, I was about to move to Banff, Alberta. I had an apartment out there and everything. And until I had some opportunities back home. So I decided to move back here instead. Me and my partner bought a few rental properties. And other than that, I have been obtaining my real estate license, which is something I've always wanted to do. And on my off time, I have been renovating my home by myself with my partner. We've done a lot of great things together. I enjoy crocheting, and I spend a lot of time with my two dogs.
Excellent. So, Chauna, what motivated you to run for council?
Well, I never pictured myself getting into politics, but I've been seeing all the things that have been happening with the town over the last couple of years, and I thought the town could probably use a new fresh set of eyes, a younger person that wants to get into politics and help make Stephenville great again. I don't have as much experience as the rest of the people running for council, but I'm willing to try my best and learn along the way.
Excellent. So what do you see as a top issue in Stephenville right now?
One of the biggest issues I see in Stephenville right now is there's a lot of spending going towards non-essential things when we have essentials like our roads. We have over 50 fire hydrants out of commission. We have deteriorating water lines. And I think that we need to put that money towards things that are essential to our town first before we have luxuries and non-essentials.
Excellent. So actually, that brings us to one of my other questions that I have for you.
Yep.
How do you think the town should prioritize community development, economic development, municipal infrastructure?
Well, I think that should all come first. I think that's the town's biggest priority is infrastructure, things like that. We need to keep our town together, before we have all the luxuries.
And Chauna, I know you're, as you mentioned, young, just getting into the political race, or field, I guess you would say. How will you make sure the voices of residents are heard at the council table?
Well, first, I'm going to make myself accessible to the people of Stephenville, listen to what the concerns they have, and I will bring their concerns to the council table. I mean, we can do that through phone calls, through social media. I could even meet people in person, and and I will bring that to the table. I'm not afraid to voice their concerns because I'm also in the same boat as that.
Excellent. So, Chauna, you mentioned lots of experiences that you've had in your life so far. What qualities or experiences do you bring that would make you an effective counselor?
Well, I'm young. I'm not tied to how things have always been done. I can see past how we've always done things. I'm a new, fresh set of eyes. I care about Stephenville, and I want to stay here. I want to live here. I want my kids to live here and their kids to live here. So I think that would make me a great counselor. I'm not tied to how things have always been done here, and I can bring a new, fresh perspective to the table.
Okay, so Chauna, what would be your approach as a counselor to encourage small business growth here in our community?
Well, that's a great question. Small businesses, I think, have always been the backbone of Stephenville. Always. That's how Stephenville has come up over the last, I don't know how long. But I think a big issue with businesses in Stephenville is that when when new businesses are starting up here in Stephenville, they face like red tape all along the way. They have issues getting permits passed through council, and it takes forever. We're not encouraging small business growth here in Stephenville the way I see it right now. I think we need to streamline that process so the businesses can open. I mean, we've seen how all the businesses have struggled over the last couple of years. I mean, during COVID and everything, we've seen a lot of closures here in Stephenville, small businesses especially. So I think we as a town need to help them along the way.
Okay, so what about when we talk about regional collaboration? Do you see opportunities for more regional collaboration with surrounding communities throughout Bay St. George?
Absolutely, I sure do. I'd like to see collaboration through things like recreational facilities, tourism promotion. Tourism is a great thing. And we live on an American Air Force base. We have the French coast or French communities out in the Cape. There's also amazing views out there. We do have a port big enough to have cruise ships come in. Cruise ships go to Corner Brook. If we had cruise ships come in here, that's beneficial for everybody. We could have quad tours. We could have bus tours out to the Cape. We could have, the same thing going to St. George's, and I think that would be a huge thing for Stephenville.
Excellent. Housing seems to be an issue right across the country right now, certainly an issue in Stephenville, an issue throughout the province of Newfoundland and Labrador, and, as I mentioned, throughout the country. So do you think Stephenville needs more housing options? And if so, the second part would be, how do you think council should address that?
Absolutely. I think housing is one of our top issues as well, not just limited to Stephenville. It's all over Canada. It's not just here. But we have families living in hotels here. We have homeless people here. We have people struggling to find places to rent here. Sorry. I've spoken to land developers here, and when they're building their houses, building their subdivisions, they face delay after delay getting permits passed through council. I mean, we should be helping them. They're the people who are building the houses, creating jobs in this town, making the town better. And we need to help them along the way. Also, I've seen the town give land to some great places in the last couple of years so people could build. So I think we should
continue.
Sorry.
No?
I think the town should release land to developers who are going to create subdivisions of affordable housing. And I think that would be a great project for the town of Stephenville and for Stephenville itself.
Excellent.
Yep.
Talking about transparency, which is important for every municipality, how would you ensure transparency for the town?
That's a great question. I think that's something we've struggled with over the last couple of years as well. I would like to keep residents informed, sharing council decisions clearly, making information easy to access online through public meetings. Transparency means no surprises. Residents need to know where the money is going, why the decisions are made, and I think that would make everyone's lives a lot easier and build more trust with the people of Stephenville, which is something I think we've lost a little bit over the last few years.
Excellent. So, Chauna, I just have one more question for you.
Sure.
And I don't know if you have anything else to add, but if you could sum up why the people of Stephenville should vote for you, what would you say?
Well, I'm young. I'm not tied to how things have always been done here. I'm a fresh set of eyes, and I can look past how we've always done things for the better. And
Excellent. Chauna, I want to thank you so much for coming in here today, answering the questions that we have that are on the minds of many residents who are looking for information to make informed decisions in the upcoming municipal election. So we want to thank you so much and wish you the best of luck.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. So this concludes another episode of Town Talk. Thank you to Chauna Hickey for joining us here in Chamber today. Chauna is a candidate in the upcoming municipal election for the position of council. Tune in for another edition of Town Talk.